You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hi, Young and the Restless fans. I've got your full roster of weekly spoilers for Monday, February 24th through Friday, February 28th. Sharon and Phyllis are in danger. They've been taken. Bad things are in store for these two. Plus, Billy is lied to. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. If you're not following us, please subscribe. Let's dive into the action. Monday, February 24th, season 52, episode 97 of Y&R. So people start to realize, hey, we haven't seen Phyllis and Sharon in a few days. So they figure out they're both missing, and that's going to lead to some accusations that are interesting. Nate talks to Audra, gives her an update that Damian is being more accepting of Amy, and that Amy agreed to see a cancer specialist. And Audra tells Nate that Damian has met a woman, and that is part of the reason she thinks he's staying in town. Holden told her that, and Nate is wondering if it is Lily. Audra tells Nate some of the truth about her and this guy. She says she knew Holden in LA when she was working there with Tucker, says they had a few dates. There was nothing to it except that Holden helped her get out of a bad spot that Tucker got her into while out there. And Nate asks, why hide it from me? And Audra basically says she was confused when he was using the name Damian rather than Holden, and said it just reminds her of her time with Tucker that makes her uncomfortable. And she says that there's no more secrets, but she looks stressed. There's still one big secret. Chelsea tells Adam she thinks them living together has been good for Connor, and she notices that he seems distracted, and she wants to know what's on his mind. Adam reveals he is falling for Chelsea again. He's been fighting it, but it's happening. He tells her about his dream from Valentine's Day, and then they talk about happy memories they've had in the past as a couple. And Chelsea is kind of warming up as Adam asks her, can we please try again? You know, we'll take it slow. Can they start with dinner? And Chelsea agrees. Nick and Mariah have not heard from Sharon. They're calling her cell phone, calling her at the other office. They're at Crimson Lights looking for her, can't find her. Chance shows up, says Phyllis is missing too, and tells them that Daniel and Summer are also worried. Nick checks with ranch security. They haven't seen Sharon coming onto or off of the property. Everybody starts to do the math and realizes that Sharon and Phyllis have both been MIA for the exact same amount of time. So Summer and Daniel are over at the GCAC talking about their mom. They've checked with the emergency room. They've checked with Chance. They can't find her. Chance calls and says, come over to the coffee shop. So then we've got this conclave on Monday of Summer, Daniel, Mariah, Nick, and Chance, and they agree it's weird that both of them are missing at the same time. And Mariah says she thinks Phyllis did something to Sharon, which makes Summer mad. Nick disagrees. He doesn't think Phyllis would do that. And Daniel and Summer insist that Phyllis was moving past her anger. And then Summer accuses Sharon of setting up Phyllis, like she set up her brother Daniel. So Summer and Mariah are bickering. Chance tries to shut it down. The snark escalates, and Nick is just concerned, wondering where they both are. Well, where they are is unconscious in this dingy apartment, and they are in danger. Tuesday, February 25th, season 52, episode 98. We'll see if they're being held in the same room. At the end of Monday's episode, you'll see just Phyllis. So Sharon has a difficult decision to make, and Phyllis is in dire and dangerous circumstances. So it's not clear yet if they're going to be held in the same room or maybe held in two separate rooms and being used against each other. I have no doubt this is the work of Ian Ward, who we all know is not dead, and that Y&R was like, oh, Ray Weiss is done. No, because spoiler, February sweeps doesn't end until Wednesday. And so this is the big finale. I will be surprised if it's not Ian. I'll just say that. Wednesday, February 26th is season 52, episode 99. Damian officially decides to stay. He's going to put down roots in Genoa City. And I'm sure, you know, the fact that his mom is terminally ill, unless they can find that specialist to save her, and the fact that he really wants to know more about Lily has helped him make his his decision, and Holden is going to be staying as well, which is going to cause problems for Nate and Audra, but it's going to lead to that big secret of hers coming out that everybody has been curious about. Adam wants to impress Chelsea. He pulls out all the stops. He has done this romantic dinner at their house. You know, we've got roses, we've got wine, and he's like, who would expect this? Chelsea says, not me, but she is actually being open to the idea of a reconciliation when before she hasn't been open to it at all. And Victor orders Michael Baldwin to help Lily find out the truth about Damian, because it seems like somebody else owns the two companies that he is running, and the person who owns them is somebody that's longer standing, that has a reputation that Victor seems to know of, but he hasn't ever met the person. This reminds me of The Princess Bride, you know, the Dread Pirate Roberts, where there's always a Dread Pirate Roberts and then a new one comes in and inherits it. So maybe Damian's working for the Dread Pirate Roberts and he is working his way up to himself becoming it. If you haven't seen the movie, you should. It's really good. So Thursday, February 27th is episode 100 of the current season. Phyllis stays strong. She stays firm. She stays resolute. Obviously, she's in a tough spot and she's dealing with a major threat. And she definitely isn't going to be happy that she and Sharon have both been taken. Victor warns Nick about Sharon, and I'm guessing it's going to be something like, don't get involved with her again. She's probably in the middle of another spiral, and you don't need to be part of this. You know, she dumped a body, she framed somebody, stay away from her. And of course, Nick's not going to do what his dad wants. Chelsea and Adam give in to temptation on Thursday. It sounds like they might actually make love for the first time since last year when they were in Baltimore. Friday, February 28th is season 52, episode 101. And we've got Audra having to set some ground rules with Holden, setting some boundaries. He's staying in Genoa City. He was asking her about her relationship with Nate because he knows she's not somebody who gets involved in serious relationships. But she says this is something new she's trying and she doesn't want him messing things up. And there is this big secret lurking about her past that he clearly knows about it. We're also going to see Sally and Audra catching up now that Sally and Billy are back from Paris, and Nick and Daniel are keeping something secret from Billy. Obviously, it's the kidnappings, and he will be quite concerned that Phyllis is missing, especially, but also that Sharon is missing, and they aren't going to tell him. And I'm interested to see, obviously, he will find out. And suspicions begin to rise about what's happened to Phyllis and Sharon. And obviously, there's factions in each family. They're going to think the one did something to the other, but in fact, somebody has done something to both of them, and it's going to be life and death kind of stuff.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.